Good morning students. Now in this video we will complete about the different agents of pollination. Now as we have seen that pollination occurs, that is the simple process is that is transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma. Now how these pollen grains are coming to the surface of the stigma. So there are many agents are there which are responsible of carrying the pollen grains from anther to the stigma surface. So mainly these agents they are divided into two category. One is the biotic agent and second one is the abiotic agent. Within the biotic agent, the pollen grains that are transferred with the help of the animals. And second category, that is by the abiotic agent, mostly the pollen grains are transferred with the help of wind and water. Now we will see what are the characteristics of the pollen grains and how the pollen grains are transferred with the help of the first one, that is the abiotic agent. So first one we will see, that is pollination, that is occurring with the help of the wind. Now in the plants such as the corn cob and many grasses, the pollen grains they are produced in very much large number. Now why they are produced in very much large number? Because as they are transferred with the help of the wind current, some of the pollen grains may fall on the ground and they are not reaching to the surface of the stigma. So that's why in this case of pollination, many pollen grains are produced. So some are reaching to the surface of stigma and they are favoring the fertilization, and some are not reaching, they are just falling on the ground. Second point, or you can say the second characteristics of the pollination by wind is pollen grains are very much dry, they are non-sticky, and the surface of the stigma is the feathery like. Why the stigma surface is feathery like? Because it can receive the pollen grain easily. So these are the characteristics of the pollination by the wind. Second, pollination that is occurring by the water. Generally this kind of pollination it is not favored by much of the plants. It is only favored by the 30 genera of the plants, and mostly the monocotyledons they favor this kind of pollination. Now few examples of the pollination by water are, first one, that are living in the fresh water. For example, Bellisneria and Hydrilla, they are surviving in the fresh water, and the sea grasses they are surviving in the marine water. So first we will see how the pollination occurs in Bellisneria. Here the female flowers are coming to the surface of the water, and the male flowers they release the pollen grains, and the female flowers they receive the pollen grains from the male flowers. So this is how the pollination by water occurs in the Bellisneria. Second case, that is in the sea grasses. Here the female flowers gets or they remain in the submerged water, and they receive the pollen grain that is coming with the help of the water current. So this is the difference between the Bellisneria and the sea grasses. Another exception of the aquatic plant is the water lily and water hyacinth. Now as they are known as aquatic plants, the pollen grains they are not receiving with the help of the water current. Instead, the pollination is occurring by the common method, either by the wind, or they are uh, having the pollen grains with the normal way. Means whatever the female flowers are there, they are landing or they are coming to the surface of the water, and pollen grains they are coming to the stigma surface with the help of the normal wind current. So this exception you have to remember for the water lily and the water hyacinth. Now what are the characteristics of the pollen grains that are transferred with the help of the water? The pollen grains generally they have the mucilage covering, that is they do not get wet as they have the mucilage covering. Second, the pollen grains they are just means they are non-sticky, they are not getting wet as they are having the mucilage covering, and the stigma surface they are also the long as they have to reach to the water surface. The pollen shape is like the ribbon shape. Also, this kind of pollen grains, they do not have any kind of fragrance and they do not produce the nectar. The same applies for the wind pollinated flowers. So this completes the pollination by water and pollination by wind. So all the characteristics, students, you have to remember that what happens and which are the examples are there in the pollination by water and wind.